WrestleZone. Ow. Hopefully we're still on the air. What's up, everybody? It's Kevin Kellum. This is WrestleZone Daily. Are we still using the daily? I don't know. We're WrestleZone. You know who we are. All right, we're coming to you on the 9th of July in the year of wrestling 2020, a year that we wish was just done with at this point, just because of other things going well beyond the ring. But we'll get into all of it today. AEW NXT ratings war continues, and the third week in a row, the numbers are coming up in a way that maybe an AEW fan may not be happy with, especially if they enjoy trolling other people on the internet. All right, we will talk about those numbers within the show. We'll talk about the big things that AEW and NXT did coming out of the Wednesday Night Wars. If you haven't checked it out yet, we did a post show which had a bunch of technical issues. So if you do listen to the post show I did with Radiant Fiero, skim through the parts where you don't see us. So I can leave it at that. All right, joining us from WrestleZone, Robert DeVilas down in Tampa, Florida. Robert, how are you surviving?
I think that's the optimal word here, Kevin, is surviving. I am doing that. I don't know how, but hey, all's well that ends well, and so far, we're here. So, yeah. Dominic, how are you over there in the steel?
Hey, I'm doing real good. It's nice. It's really hot in Pittsburgh, humid, 94. I had to close the windows because I was doing an interview and I sweated like crazy. So, and Robert, my vision is like kind of poor. Well, my vision is always poor, but like seeing you where you're sitting, it kind of looks like you have a headband on and that you look like Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong? You're in the Tommy Chong?
Yeah. So that's rewarding. Tommy Chong, man.
So, no, I'm not wearing a headband. I'm wearing a hat backwards. But
yes,
yeah.
But my vision sucks. So that's what it looks like to me.
I accept your Tommy Chong reference.
You're welcome. I think it's great. If you haven't gone as him for Halloween at any point in time, do it.
All right.
That's my
Dave's
suggestion.
not here, man. Dave's not here, man. All right, so we're getting into a bunch of different things. It's another ratings upset. That is our big lead-off topic. The Wednesday Night Wars. Now, a lot of people say the ratings don't matter. The ratings don't matter. But then how come everyone seems to talk about the ratings? How come every single week when we look at the back end of WrestleZone.com, the most read thing every week is what happens on Thursday when we get those numbers from Showbuzz Daily about who won the night in wrestling. And it goes WWE NXT versus AEW. The competition last few weeks has definitely heated up heading into the summer. And the 2 weeks of Great American Bash and Fyter Fest, these kind of elevated Clash of the Champions pay-per-views on TV cards, had a lot to offer. Now, AEW took a blow with the whole COVID situation. They don't have Jon Moxley. They don't have their champion and defending the title. Which some people say now on the back end may have been an affecting source here. As we're in the third week in a row of WWE NXT, which have been losing in the ratings for quite some time, now winning in the ratings by margins that are considerable. Now AEW, though, for their own fault, is still scoring in the key demo of males 18 to 49, still scoring a good number. But Robert, let's break down the numbers here for this week.
Yeah, so NXT scores 759,000. AEW gets 715. I believe AEW was top 10 in the demographic, which is apparently all Tony Khan cares about. Because I know we got a comment there that says, did you see Tony having a meltdown about losing? And, you know, Tony Khan came out today and he's like, I don't know why you guys would think that a show in the top 10 of the demographic is losing. I think this is great. My family and I, we drink a little bit of the bubbly, Chris Jericho's actual brand, every time we're in the top 10. This is great. We're doing great. You know, I think it's so silly to me. Like, clearly we're going to enter an era where the demographic number is going to become the all-important number. You know, and then it's going to be, ooh, NXT, geek them out by 1 point and 1 slot on the demo. And it's just, like, at the end of the day, these shows are losing miserably to like Ultimate Tag and whatever else is on Wednesday night.
Oh, that's the thing I think about in general too. Is like none of these shows are scoring above 1 million. None of these shows are scoring in a way where long term it looks great. Short term, fine. Long term, don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's something I look at on the surface here too.
The important thing is, boys, we're still in Flavor Town because, guys, grocery games doing tremendous numbers. I mean, we're talking peak numbers here for Flavortown and Triple G from the guy who brought you Triple D. Like, that's the competition they need to be worried about.
As it should be.
But also, yeah, but Dominic, you chime in here. Obviously, we have a lot of your coverage on WrestleZone focuses on what AEW is doing. You have a new Friday podcast, one feed. You get all this stuff from us. We're dropping a lot of fun things in our podcast feed, and if you're not listening, you should be. This one, a podcast exclusive. Not much video of this coming out. I know a lot of people enjoy this show because they can do the live streaming thing with us, but the show we're doing on Fridays, just on AEW. If you're just in AEW, this is your show. Two dynamite dudes with attitudes, you and your brother Marcus, coming out this Friday. You guys are going to talk about this great week for AEW in terms of content quality, but Thursdays is the day that we break down the numbers. How did these shows perform overall? I mean, if you're an AEW fan, you can say the demo number is great, but come on. If you're an AEW fan, the big fun thing to say on the internet was that your show beat a WWE show. That isn't something you can say the past 3 weeks. Is it a blow, or is it just like, whatever?
It's a blow. I think 18 to 45 demographic. It is big. Don't get me wrong. It's like that's what you want, and it is I think it's more of a telling sign for long term than it is the short immediate term of excitement of getting like these votes. Like it's kind of like almost like an election where like, okay, your president didn't win the election, but the grand scheme of things, if you look at the details, is your local election office, is that the department that's winning? Is that what's really like? Yeah. So you're looking at it in that way.
Are you telling me winning the demographic is the electoral college? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm telling you that it's more of your locally grown wins, where it's like, okay, it's affecting you more immediately than say from a nationwide standpoint. Sure. So if that makes sense, it might be a bad analogy, but no, I think overall that you want to win the ratings. That's those numbers, no matter what it is, you want to win. It's a competition. You got that itch, and Tony Khan tweeting about it shows he wants to win. Like he's got that competitive vibe to him too. So it's just like you're right in the thick of things. It makes it entertaining. Heck, I want to see AEW win. Like if I'm being freaking biased or whatever, I want to see him win. But it's like
show your bias. I'm all about that. Like if you're gonna come into my show, if you're
WWE horny, so
like,
and I'm rock hard. Like I don't need Viagra, all right. I just need to see then, now, and forever, and I'm full up, right?
Right.
I am ready to go. As you guys know, fans of the show understand that I've been criticized for being horny for WWE, and let me tell you, I'm horny for it. Doesn't mean I agree with the booking all the time, but does it arouse me? Yes, it does. I'm aroused. All right. You know what's really up? Not these numbers. Something else. Okay.
Oh, something else. I want some erotic fan fiction going on. That's what I want.
Some erotic fan fiction of Kevin reading the radio.
Reading booking ideas.
I want to see you sitting in like a big lavish chair, like almost Tales of Ribaldry with John Lovitz.
The quarter two numbers are coming out. Oh yeah.
Goodness.
Is that we're setting Kevin up for an OnlyFans account that nobody can touch. So get after it, buddy. But
if you're having a good time watching these guys make fun of me, go ahead and click the like. We will read comments on today's show.
We do. I mean, I look at them. I might not say stuff like while I'm on here because I'm so distracted, but I'm looking and enjoying what you said, even if it's Penguins trashing like they did yesterday. How dare they?
Big fan of the show, James Espanto. Fernando Taguay. Texting and says, Big Cub. It's like saying the Cubs have more fans than Sox fans with better character.
Well,
wow.
I don't watch baseball for the character, but if I was, there's no better character in the world of baseball than Mr. Met. Okay?
Mr. Met, he's passed. He's old news, that guy.
He's old news. Yeah, so, I mean, other people texting in. Fans of women wrestling ratings are fun to see who won. People just enjoy seeing the competition. I agree with that. There is just some fun looking at the numbers too and seeing who's competing.
Do you guys want me to read the Tony Khan tweet? I have.
Yes, please.
I want to read a couple comments here, and we'll get to that one.
Okay.
Timothy Tim, 2 times the Tim, says, "You never see Vince and Triple H tweet about how low ratings are. They never respond to that stuff."
This might surprise you. Now, I feel this for a lot of powerful people in the world. I don't think Vince McMahon runs his Twitter account. That's just a sneaking suspicion that I have that Vince McMahon might not run his Twitter.
No.
As far as Hunter's got better than...
I look at my direct messages every single day, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 p.m. in the morning, after I do a workout, protein shakes. So, Dominic, you have that tweet from
I have the thread up here. Let me see here. Let me start at the very beginning. Okay, if anyone thinks I consider being a top 7 show on cable anything but a huge win, they're incorrect. A win in the demo is a win in the business, and this is a business. I know the industry wasn't talking about the demo as much as 20 years ago, but it's what drives our revenue today. And then he shows a chart. He's like, here's a chart, industry to analyze performance. I think it's where we get it from Showbuzz Daily here for our rating stuff. The leftmost color-coded column is 18 to 49 demographic. We love and value all viewers in or outside that demo, but that's how we score the game. Why tweet about ratings? Because I'm thrilled about these numbers, and so are TNT. My family drinks a little bit of the bubbly, Chris's actual brand, on Thursdays when we're in the top 10. This is the 3rd time in 4 weeks, and I'm grateful for the great AEW fans that make it possible.
Sure.
So it's not. I don't think that's that like much of like a petty dig or anything like that. I think
it isn't, but I do think it is something where he feels this pressure from the fans they've created. And another thing is, Robert, you and I see this. The fans of AEW that are loyal to it want to see it win. They're watching because they want it to win. They're tweeting about it because they want it to win. They don't want to see these numbers. I'm not trying to troll anyone or provoke anyone. You want your favorite show to be the winner. That's it. I mean, and Dominic, if I ask you which show would you want to see win in the ratings, what show would you tell me you want to see win in the ratings?
I want to see AEW because I love it. Sure. I love the competition of it all and like new breed coming in.
I'm on the side where I just want it to be competitive. I like who wins and who doesn't win. I just want the shows to be very healthy overall. Because for me, guess what? Surprise! If more people watch wrestling, more people care about wrestling, more people are going to come to WrestleZone.com, and more people are going to listen to the show, and more people are going to buy a T-shirt or a website, and but like it trickles down. This is Reaganomics, whether you like Reaganomics or not. All right, so that's the thought I am. But to say that this is a tweet that isn't responsive to people telling them, "Hey, you got to say something." This is the 3rd week in a row. There's some truth to that. And I'm not saying he's caving or blah, 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 blah. He's right. They've scored demographic numbers. I work in the radio business. Demo numbers are great. Fantastic. You can lean a lot of your business on demo numbers. But there's things you can't lean your demo numbers on. And those aren't things that WWE or AEW even have to worry about right now. Specifically, you don't have to lean. Demo numbers really don't translate to ticket sales. Sometimes they do, depending on the type of venues you play. I can see that from talking to bands and different stuff like that when they kind of look at what type of audience they have and where you can sell at places. But no one's really doing that now. This is a pure content to broadcast model right now, and it has been for a long, long time. And WWE, you can hear it from people working in the company. I can tell you from talking to people. Their live event numbers are not something they really focus on because they really focus on social media engagement. How they can translate that into merchandise, how they can translate that into viewers, and then sell that number. So with NXT, I think it's designed to be a niche brand. AEW right now competes with their niche brand because that's what WWE did. Said, if you're going to come up to us and try and play for this market space, we want to protect that. And that's why they put NXT there. The competition is a lot more fierce than it has been in a few weeks. That's why I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying everything we're getting here. And I like that NXT came back with something. I like that they came back with, let's lean on our big dogs. Let's go with the guys that we know our fans love and give them big matchups with big stakes and big payoffs. And you got one. And I think that's why NXT won the ratings. Another reason is I don't think, to counter that AEW is seeing the issue they have here. Jon Moxley's not on TV every week. He wasn't on TV every week when they could have him on TV every week. He is the guy that gets casual WWE fans to tune over. All right, you've gotten your Jericho bump, but the problem we're seeing, and this is no shot at Chris Jericho, people know he's at AEW now, and they like tuning in to see him, but they want to see him in big matches. I think the match with Orange Cassidy against Jericho was fun, but this match they built up with NXT had stakes. It felt like something was going to happen, and you wanted to see the big moment. WWE NXT had the big moment last night. AEW had a fun show overall. People tune in for moments. They want to see things. They want to remember when they saw that happen. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And when you get it from both shows, that's a damn good night. What's the problem, guys? You know what I mean? Like, I know everyone's like, "Oh, not my show. Screw those." You know, and some people saying, "Why did Tony Khan even tweet about this?" That's something that fans do, not management. I think AEW.
Hold on. Let's just get this out of the way. Tony Khan, and this is what people liked about him initially, is
transparency.
A total smart for the business. He's all about. He's probably been reading WrestleZone since 1999 or whenever the site first came up. You know, he's just that kind of guy. That's just who he is. He feels like he can interact with his audience that way. He got into a Twitter spat over with Randy Orton, who called him Jacksonville Dixie, which is still the greatest.
That was still a funny line. It's still
what a slam dunk, like Jacksonville Dixie. But I think it's fine. And you know why he did it? Because we're sitting here talking about it. We've been talking about it for the last 20 minutes. That's why Tony Khan tweeted about it, because it's an easy needle mover.
It's like, and two, there's that aspect of it. Like, 18 to 49 is the big main demographic. So you get that, and then you have that in tandem too. Like, he didn't take any digs necessarily at WWE or NXT, but like, I'm sure a lot of their ratings came from that over 50 age or whatever they've been accruing throughout the time.
It is true, but their 18 to 49 number is up, and they're getting within 10 points of AEW. I can see it a little bit too, specifically with the sponsorship. The sponsorships are kind of indicative of what audience you want or what audience they think they can sell on your show. Specifically, and also there's TV tricks they were doing too. There's something different when you say we're going to have less commercial interruption, but we're going to do one big sponsorship mention. You know, and we've always heard that wrestling has this tough time being sold to certain audiences, even though it scores its demo number because, well, it's wrestling. You know, do we want to be on the wrestling show? Right? We've heard that for decades, and we follow the business for a long time, and we kind of see that number, especially when we talk to salespeople. Something I can tell you from talking to people that sell advertising. They say wrestling scores an audience, but is it the audience you want? Like, there's always this question of it. So with the 18 to 49 number, it's great. It's a fundamental number, but you're selling to just that audience. Sometimes you want a brand that can, we leverage on that audience, but obviously we're going to get other people out of it. Example, Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew went with we're going to be in the second hour of NXT with less commercial interruption. And Mountain Dew and Pepsi Cola have been on with WWE on and off for a very, very long time, probably since the 90s. And Mountain Dew specifically, that brand has been there. I don't see Mountain Dew going to AEW. They've been a loyal sponsor. They know they can get an 18 to 49 number. Another thing is 18 to 49 is a lot broader of a number than you think. So I would say that AEW is definitely winning an 18 to 34 number, 34 to 50, 25 to 50. Now we're looking a lot more of a competitive range here. When the numbers come within 50,000 of each other, it's a lot closer than you think. And so when I say that, I was like, this 18 to 49 number is not secure for AEW. It really, really isn't secure when we talk about all those other shows that are on at night. And we talk about how WWE now has no problem saying, we're going to send Sasha Banks over to WWE. We're going to send her over to NXT to pop this number. We're going to send over these other people. And I don't think that's done. I think that's going to keep happening. The shelf hasn't been gone to yet for NXT. They have more money, more resources, and they have a higher list of clientele. Like a Mountain Dew has been with them. So yeah, we're going to stick with you guys, even though the numbers say this, because we know what we get from WWE. WWE can play on that decades of selling, working with sponsors, delivering that model. AEW is coming into this whole new world, and they've done a lot to change the game. They've lit a fire under WWE's ass. It's exciting to see from the other side of the business. I know I'm talking a lot of business stuff here. People say AEW is trash. We're not talking about wrestlers and stuff like that. But I would say it's fun to see this competition. I think it's good for AEW because now they're like, all right, what do we have to do? What do we have to change? What do we have to do that isn't just for our hardcore fans? They're going to have their fan base. It's going to come and sell 2,000 to 3,000 tickets when they hit the road again. Are they going to fill out arenas? Maybe. Who knows? Are the ratings going to be up? Who knows? There's a lot of fluid things going on here. But do you see this kind of lighting a fire under AEW to do some different things to change the course? Because a lot of what they have now is kind of like, all right, here are the lanes we're going into for the next 3 months. You know you're going to get Bucks in the FTR. You know you're going to get Moxley and Cage in the next few weeks when the test clear for him and all this stuff. You kind of know the direction, but what do you see changing? What do you see them? What do you see in their presentation that changes? I know the storylines. I don't see them shifting. But is there something you think they do differently?
Yeah. Go ahead, Robert. You go first.
I'm going to say no because they're confident. If nothing else, they are confident in who they are as a promotion, and they're going to keep, staying down the beaten path. They got a guy in Chris Jericho who loves the brand and loves his position. I was listening to a First Match podcast with Jesse Cage, who's been on this very show.
Great podcast, by the way. If you guys haven't checked it out, that is a fantastic concept of a show. We had Jesse on. I loved it. I love the podcast I listened to. He had Jericho on it. Go ahead.
And Jericho was like, my favorite time in my career is right now. AEW is where it's at. And Jesse had introduced him as a 10-time IC champion and the first undisputed champion. And he's like, no, I'm the first AEW champion. You got to go with the new stuff. Like that feels like another life to me. He's so invested in the brand. And I think that's the team AEW has.
And I'm not making a crack at Jericho not being a draw, but last night it was about a moment. People wanted to see this moment. They wanted to see that title shift from one person to another. And Jericho tells great stories. I still think he's going to be a guy who can have great stories with him. I think a rematch between him and Moxley is something they could do down the line that could be special as well. And he's a fantastic star for them. But for me, there's something going on. Like when I see the number like that, there's something there. And I think AEW can shift and win back the ratings. They can win back a significant number of the audience if they want it. But I don't know where they don't have. I'm not saying they don't have the edge, but it feels like it's dull. Am I wrong, Don? Like there's some fantastic stuff on this show last night. Jericho and Cassie was great. That 8-man tag was fantastic. If you're an AEW fan, that match is everything you want from them in one match. But then what beyond that isn't sticking with people, isn't sinking the teeth in. Because for me, it isn't like it's this big loss. The Khan's right. They scored in the top 10 on the demographic. Right. I'm not denying what they can do. But for me, I think there's some plays. There's some things they can do. There's some pieces they can move around. This is a game where you got they want to say they're not reactionary. Cody said it to us when we interviewed them last year. They're not going to be reactionary. If I'm them, you got to be reactionary now. There's some things you got to do to kind of change up the game and reel in your horses because they got horses. They got a deep bench. What do you see they're not doing that you think they could do, if there is anything at all? I agree with Robert. They could just stick with what they're doing and things will change. But what do you think?
I think for the most part, the majority, if you're looking at it from a broad perspective, they are going to stay the course of what they have planned. But I can definitely see maybe a big move that they had planned for down the line, maybe get moved up a little bit in certain regards, or just in general, maybe just a tightening up of the ship, so to speak, where like maybe you kind of lay off on some of the comedy aspects of things here and there that have been sprinkled out throughout the product, where you pick and choose those moments, and you also tighten up a lot of different things that might, like the little things. There was stuff I loved the show last night, and I honestly thought that Jericho and Orange Cassidy was an awesome match, and I think Orange Cassidy established himself as somebody that's a very detailed in-ring worker. Like if you watch that match, you'll notice little intricacies that he does that makes like believable. Like this quick example, he gives Jericho a Falcon Arrow, and instead of like hooking the leg or putting his hand on a certain aspect, he adjusts his hand so it's on top of one of Jericho's shoulders, so he holds him down. Like it, just like little aspects of that is kind of neat to see. And I think if they make notes of all these little different things and they tighten up the ship a little bit and what they've kind of been criticized about, but just keep an open mind, but still stay the course. Yeah. I think that's the ultimate lane that they can probably take, with maybe a boosted up big surprise that maybe they have planned down the line. Maybe just move it up a little bit more.
I agree with you. I mean, and the thing is, Cassidy is a big player. I don't think I'm taking a shot here by saying I don't think he's a main event guy.
Not yet.
But I think that match was designed to bring him up to another level. And I do think to a degree it did. Does that mean I think he's going to be the world champion tomorrow? No. But if you told me in a few weeks that he was taking on Cody for the TNT title, I'd be like, all right, that's believable now.
And it could win. He could win it. Like that's who I think that was.
And he could win it. And he hung in there with Jericho. It wasn't like he got jobbed out. And I knew going into the match they weren't going to do that either. And Jericho made him look like $1 million. Made him look like this big shocking threat. This guy's a goofball, and he's not supposed to be able to beat me. He's not supposed to be able to hang with me, and all these things. And they went with that. And there was a story in that. But I do think they just got hit by this COVID thing, and Moxley is the big draw. He's right now. I'd say maybe putting the title on him. They lean into him, and this stuff just kind of happened. And I don't hold it against them. You know what I mean? I think with COVID, there's a lot of viewing patterns that are through the roof that are different now. I think when we see some shows kind of go on a summer break that are filmed right now, you mentioned that tag show, Robert, and like those shows, AEW will have a bigger number, WWE will have a bigger number. You know, so like there's a lot of other factors that we don't see in wrestling that are affecting this. Let's talk about what they did on AEW. They did a handful of different things. Brian Cage is your new FTW champion. F the world. It's ECW. It's the year 2000 all over again, fellas. What do you think here, Robert? They went with Brian Cage, kind of reminding you that he's a threat to Jon Moxley. What do you think of them doing this with Taz, revealing the old FTW title?
As soon as I saw Taz with the velvet case, you just like, okay, he's giving him the FTW title. What I don't like, and this is me nitpicking, get over it. There's just got a big word Taz on the belt. And I get that. He got the belt made for himself. It's fine. But it's a unique way to tie the character into the Taz mentor. I thought it was fine. It just feels like a hat on a hat. Because it feels like they're marks for the 90s and stuff, and it just felt like, hell, you can give us the FTW belt? Oh my god, that'd be awesome, because it's the FTW belt. I get it, but Brian Cage hasn't done nearly enough in AEW for me to care. Like, dude, you've done one thing, you got a title match, and you haven't had that title match, and here's this belt from ECW. We're just gonna give it to you.
I like it. I think it's great. It's people. I mean, you look at that demographic that they're winning in, and that fits right in their lane, especially that older aspect of it. And to kind of, I don't think Cage necessarily even needs to establish himself at this point to be like credible enough to hold that Taz's title, because you're gonna get there, it kind of is a tell that he's not going to beat Moxley, perhaps. But, you could see him just going on a complete absolute tear after that title match is over, and then just, showing why he's the FTW champion. And I think that in itself provides a lot of intrigue. It's going to be, I think it's a good idea. It plays into a lot of what we were talking about too, where AEW does a great job at tipping their cap to the legends. And this is a tip of the cap to Taz. So I think overall it's a very solid move, and they can do a lot with it.
I think they can do a lot with it. To me, it felt like a holdover until we get to Moxley. It just felt like a way to keep Cage relevant on a show where he doesn't have a match, and he's supposed to have a big match coming up. And are we going to feed him somebody to decimate before he gets to that match? Let's do something that's better than just better than a squash match, and this felt better than a squash match. I think Taz is doing a great job in that role of calling Moxley on some things and doing the kind of wink, work shooty stuff where he talked about how, we're better than these other guys and you're supposed to be better than these other guys. And I think Taz was just sort of saying, if you weren't married to somebody from WWE, we wouldn't have to worry about it. Like, I thought that when I watched the promo, I was like, I'm just waiting for him to say something about his wife, Yeah. And Taz is of that school. He'll go there and do that stuff. But that's a whole nother thing.
But I'm sort of at this point of like, can we do something else? Like, can we focus on our own house before we start throwing stones? Please. Like, can we just do that? I watched the opening match on this show was Private Party versus Hangman and Kenny. And I said this in the group chat. I'm like, this looks so spot-oriented that their timing is off and it's making everything awkward, because that's what happens when you get 2 guys or 4 guys in the ring where it's all based around spots. There are certain elements of AEW that I just want to see change. Like, go ahead, Dom.
Oh, well, no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think the match is so athletic. Those guys, Private Party, do amazing stuff. But Marcus and I talked it too on our other show that it's something that you get desensitized to, and a lot of fans, like, as amazing as it is, okay, what's the meat behind it? What is the richness behind it? Where do we get that moment of care? And by doing it less, you're gonna care more. And I think and this kind of harkens back to what we just talked about. if that's one of those adjustments, I think that AEW will try to make. Okay, this is some aspects where it's like people are getting their stuff in, but we got to make it be significant. And I think if we're going to see some,
I would say that they really, because their structure of how
they have to edit themselves a little bit.
Yes, they don't edit themselves, and I guess that's a part of the appeal of it is like, oh, the wrestlers have a say in their storylines, and the wrestlers get to cut their own promos and all these different things. I agree with that, but then those were all the things I thought there were a problem with Double or Nothing, where we got Mike Tyson in this big match, and we got this, and it's just all of these things that don't add to the story that it looks like somebody wants to do. And I want to do this, so we're going to do it. And I get there's an appeal in that, but there's to me, that's like junk food. So you can only have so much junk food before it doesn't taste good. If you eat Doritos every day, it isn't going to taste good. And I think especially with Private Party, which the major critique I have with them is nothing slows down. Everything and nothing slows down. And I guess maybe the older part of me too. Whereas this isn't to say that NXT doesn't have the same issue, because sometimes they definitely go there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Many false finishes and different stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But I do agree with that. Where I want to know who's the agent on this stuff then. Who's producing it? Who's reeling it in and saying, all right, we need to slow this down, and because then those things mean more. And it meant more when there was several false finishes in NXT last night. It meant more when you did those things they did with Orange Cassidy and Pac, for example. It was a match I saw live. They did the goofy stuff with it, but they didn't let it run the match. It was something where they only went to it just to throw a curveball at you and let's get back into wrestling. And wow, Orange Cassidy can wrestle. He's not just this comedy guy. So, I mean, there's different things they can do, but there's times when they go way into it. The 8-man tag match is 8 guys. They're going to go fly all over the place. Circumstantially, I think if you're watching it, you can buy that. But there's other times where I definitely feel like I was like, slow it down. I can't. It's like when you love a band and they get on a major label and they have more time to like make a good record and like have it be really good production, and they get way into their production. They get way into. They're like, oh no, now we're on TV, even more stuff. It's like it goes off the rails. Like that's where I think like some of the benefit of being WWE is they have people that hang over your match and say this, not this, and that is annoying. And I can see where that micromanages it. But then I see the benefit of it now when you try and go all the way on the other side of the gamut in terms of approach. Other things that happen on AEW and NXT that I found entertaining. We got ourselves a new NXT champion. I know we talked about ratings and all that stuff for over 30 minutes here and different things that AEW did. Keith Lee is the double champ. This is a crowning moment for him. This is a great moment for WWE overall. I think he's a guy who's been had a lot more fan support since November. In terms of the last 8-9 months, you would have told me that this guy was in a big match at WrestleMania weekend. Absolutely would agree with it. We didn't get to have that type of weekend normally. If this was a takeover, I think this would have been a very big talking point if the show stood alone by itself and wasn't competing with AEW. Dom, what do you think? Keith Lee, double champ.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think for both parties. I think Keith Lee, he's somebody that you can really get behind in NXT, and he'd be the perfect type of champion to have going out of a post-pandemic era. I feel just because he's got the unique look, he's got the athletic ability to do different things for a big man, and I think he'll really shine once post-pandemic happens, but also during the pandemic era, I feel. And then it just benefits Adam Cole, I think, in general to kind of, okay, what's next for him? What are we going to see develop with him, whether it's in NXT or on one of the other brands? Where is he going to go? Because, I mean, even just seeing a little brief promo that he did with BT Sport talking about Kevin Owens and stuff like that, I'm like, gosh, that guy is he's attainable. Like he's somebody that's he's got that attractive, personality with that really engaging and like immediately, and he's just not even talking, like he's not even in character or anything. I was like, that guy's money right there. It's just like,
Cole is a superstar. He's just a guy where there isn't anything specific about him that makes you think, oh, that's why he's a great wrestler, right? But then when you start thinking about stars, like what is the star appeal? What is the note of a charisma? It's just the way the guy carries himself. Like that he walks and talks like he's going to be in the Super Bowl every time he plays a game. And there's something to be said for that. Now he doesn't have the title. I thought it was the right time to take the title off him. What do you think here, Robert? Was it the right time to get the belt off him? It felt like that was the whole point of the story of this match.
Yeah, I think with the benefit of hindsight, we maybe could have done this at In Your House just to get a bigger takeover moment. I don't know. That's nitpicky. I like it. I like Keith Lee. Keith Lee's the man. Adam Cole is the future of wrestling. He's the one wrestler on across the board right now that I would follow to Impact and watch Impact exclusively for Adam Cole if Adam Cole went to Impact. He is that guy. He's the best wrestler in the world for me right now, bar none.
The thing is, even in matches he has that aren't as good as others, he still has some of the best matches on the show. I know you and we covered the In Your House show, and he had that outdoor cinematic match with Velveteen Dream. A lot of people weren't fans. I think some people liked it, other people didn't. It was a very mixed response to it. I enjoyed it, and even you and you said he was the best thing about the match. He's still that guy who carries the spots he's given. But Keith Lee is now the guy. They're going to go with him versus Cross. We look like we're going to get Karrion Kross, the big walking apocalypse of WWE. Everyone expects big things from him. He has like Bray Wyatt Fiend type interest, where he's the one guy where I see casual fans and hardcore fans crossing the aisle and saying, what's going to happen with him? What he's going to do is very appealing. Cross versus Keith Lee, is that a big match for either one of you guys? For me, it could be, but I don't know just yet.
It could be.
Yeah. I got to go real quick, but let me say, yes, I feel it will be. I want to see a longer program, though, so I want something to ultimately happen where, like, Keith Lee holds on to the title, but Karrion Kross comes back and seeks revenge and maybe gets the title that time around. But, yeah, I want to see Keith Lee go on a respectable to considerable run with the title before he loses it again. I don't want to see him just booked as a transitional champion, so to speak. So yeah,
I don't think he will be either. Who knows? The Cross is a big deal. So maybe the whole thing of Cross is he just ruins this feel good story.
Could be it too. Yeah.
Dom, thank you so much. I know you're busy. You spoke with the Von Erichs from MLW earlier today.
You're about to go speak with a man who has good WCW fame. Go ask all the questions about David Flair and all the random stuff we want to know. Have fun.
You got it. I'm going. It's Crowbar, man. I'm very excited. It's so crazy. There's so much like I wasn't aware that he was part of and different things. So I'm, and that he's a fan of too. So it'll be very cool to speak with him on several topics. So just stay tuned for that. And yeah, my Von Erichs interview, I loved it. We went over an hour, touched upon a lot of topics that wrestling doesn't usually cover a lot of the time. So, and they're just ultimate baby faces through and through. So
did you talk to the Von Erich boys who grew up with their family being Texas wrestling? Their family was Texas wrestling, all right? And Robert and I, one of our favorite weird moments in wrestling history is at the Cotton Bowl, World Class Championship Wrestling, Glenn Goza singing a pop novelty song in the ring to a half-full stadium, and this song was I'm Going to Wrestling.
Now what I need to I need to go, but I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this, Dom. I want you to go ahead and DM the Von Erichs, ask them about Glenn Goza, put that in the article. It's going to sell a lot of clicks.
I'm going to make it the headline.
It's going to sell a lot of clicks.
Yeah. Sell
New t-shirts. New t-shirts.
A lot of clicks for the Glenn Goza.
Yeah. All right, Dom. Love you, buddy.
See you guys.
Take care, man. All right. Dominic D'Angelo from WrestleZone.com. Join us there. Good man, as always. Always good to us. All right, so we continue on here, Robert. I want to put some questions up on the screen, but we have a fragile UHF broadcasting system that I don't want to shake up too much. If you're with us, you have questions, go ahead and shoot them off, and we'll kind of answer them as they fly by here. Other things that kind of happened on NXT worth noting on the lesser end, Mercedes Martinez debuted as a new heel character. She's been a 20-year veteran. She's been in the Mae Young Classics for WWE, but now going full force with NXT. I think that's the right decision. They do need a little bit more of a fresh depth on NXT. Over on AEW, we got to see Cody in Hot Ones. He was in the Hot Ones show.
Very popular series. He certainly was. I don't get the appeal. I think Cody should have defended. It's a weird thing that he didn't, considering the tag champs defended 2 weeks in a row. He'll be fighting Sonny Kiss next week. Huge opportunity for Sonny Kiss. Love that idea. And I think AEW's got some good stuff going on. I really want them to focus in on Moxley as soon as they can. As soon as they can, Moxley is the money.
Yeah, I think Moxley is the money as well. If you're watching live with us, go ahead and just fire off those questions. We'll get to them here. You have
Nyla
any
Rose says she's got a manager coming in. Who do you think that is, Kevin?
I was talking to Iridian about this on our post show after that, and if you guys haven't checked it out, and if you don't want to because of the tech issues, I completely get it. I don't know. There's a lot of options you could go with. Maybe they go with somebody who's already managing talent, like a Jake the Snake. I think Jake the Snake with her would be a very interesting play. Jake already manages monsters. That would be something there. A lot of people immediately said Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero has been around AEW, obviously has a long, very successful history as playing a supporting role in wrestling. Whether or not you like it, she gets that heat. I've never seen someone get the type of heat she gets just from talking. And also, I think has the right attitude to approach a character in Nyla that has a lot of challenges, and there will be people that don't like her just because Nyla's there, and that's stupid. And I think that could be spun into something. And Nyla is not opposed to turning those things into stories.
I appreciate how you walked right through ignorance. You walked right through ignorance without referencing it once, and that was an amazing thing, and I want to commend you for it. But yeah, I heard Vicky Guerrero's name come up too. My immediate thought was Awesome Kong, but Vicky Guerrero makes sense.
I think Awesome Kong would be a great pick. It doesn't seem like Awesome's going to be an in-ring performer for AEW for the foreseeable future, at least.
It's one of those things with Vicky. I don't want to see that character. I think she had such an iconic run in WWE that it's like, leave it there. You're good. Leave it right there.
This question coming in from Saul says, "Big kill." Robert, welcome back. Thank you. My question, what does the future hold for Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era? Are they going to the main roster? Well, it's worth noting that NXT is still the main roster. I think that's becoming more and more of a thing, but who knows? A lot of people have different takes on that. Do you see them going to SmackDown or Raw? I think there's something there. Do you break them up? I don't know if you break them up. All right, we lost Robert. Don't know where he went. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, man, I gotta love technology. It's a son of a bitch. So we're going to keep rolling here. Do I think Adam Cole goes? There's a possibility of it. I think maybe you do one more take at that title or swipe at it, and you could do something there. Let's see if this works with me here. I gotta love technology, man. I gotta do it live while we're on air. Challenge.
Yeah, I'm back. We just lost connection because Be Live. But
I think Adam Culver versus Keith Lee in a rematch on TV could prove a good number. I don't know if it'd be a massive number. I do think that's something you do. If he does go to either one of the big brands, I think SmackDown could be that brand. I think if you move the needle quite a bit more there than over on Raw. But Raw needs something fresh. I think him on Raw against Kevin Owens would be in it. Kevin Owens, he brought up that name, Kevin Owens. I think that would be something.
I don't know what you guys are seeing right now. I see a black screen, and I see myself on screen, and Kevin is not. I don't. What happened? If you can see me on screen, put a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, so I'm guessing I am the one on screen. So let's just take this over from here. Yeah, I can see Adam Cole going to Monday Night Raw. Specifically, he supposedly wants to work with Randy Orton, and the feeling is mutual. I am very into the idea of Adam Cole versus Randy Orton. I'm into the idea of Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan on SmackDown.